Hello, this is Daniel with Peace and Plenty Farms, where we want to grow together. So come along and let's help each other find our way in the homesteading, off-grid, self-sustaining farming. I can't emphasize enough planning your day, planning the things that you want to do, and maximizing your time. When you get older, you really have a need for channeling your efforts, because you have just a certain amount of effort every day. If you can make the most out of your effort while you're young, I see these young guys just going bull crazy on things like I used to do. Just a word of wisdom from an old guy. Plan your day, plan your week, plan your time. Make the most out of what you're doing. What we want to talk to, today's Sunday, and typically what we do is we talk about what the 100-item list. We've been working on the 100-item list that I got off the internet, and I refined it myself. I changed a lot of things and added notes. And so we've done 10 of those items, 2 previous Sundays. So we'll work on some of those items today. I wanted to let you know that I'm really working on video quality, and today I'm shooting with an S10, and I've got the RCA plugged microphone, Lavelle, and I've got the Dead Cat windscreen sound absorber on the microphone. So we'll see how that goes. The 95 is real close, and the goats and the roosters are right behind me. So we'll see how much sound quality we get off of this setup. The number 11 item on our list is the cooking oil. You know, a lot of vegetable oil is what you get at the store, and ideally you want to cook with olive oil. And so you can stock up on that, but cooking oil is sort of like a necessity, like water and food. In order to fry and cook, you're going to have oil. So make those connections, figure out what's best for you. It's going to be tough to raise pigs, but that's the best way to get cooking oil. Even on this farm here, figuring out where we can accommodate pigs is a difficult thing. So be thinking about cooking oil and how you're going to have a continuous fresh supply of that, just like your water. Coconut oil is an excellent way to store cooking oil. It stores a lot easier than your other oils. Number 12 is charcoal. And charcoal is just a good cooking item to have for your prepping, because it's something in the summertime when you don't have a wood stove fire going all the time. You can set up a charcoal fire and do a little meal in the evening on charcoal. And I have found that Lowe's does a half price sale on Memorial Day weekend. So you can actually stock up on Memorial Day weekend with the charcoal then. And I don't think there's a limit on what they, a limit on how many bags you can buy. So keep that in mind next Memorial Day weekend. Containers for water. Now, of course, you've got your 5-gallon containers. I've got I have a lot of kudos for Lowe's in this video, but this is going to be a negative for Lowe's. Don't buy their buckets. They're 5-gallon buckets. Number one, they break in the bottom. All of them, the blue 5-gallon ones, have broken in the bottom. So I buy the orange Home Depot 5-gallon buckets to do projects around here if I want the bottom to stay maintained in the bucket. This is a bird feeder that I had made a while back. And we're talking about containers for water and things. The best bucket is this white food grade bucket. And this bucket was not available back when I started prepping about 10 years ago. But Lowe's has picked up on the retail demand for these food grade buckets, and they're starting to carry that now. So it is a kudos to Lowe's on these buckets, and stay away from their blue ones. But this one here, you can get different types of lids. I want to show you this lid. This is called a gamma lid, and it might you see how it unscrews from here. So it gives you a really tight seal for foods and things. This is the catfish feed. So it snaps on just like a regular lid here around the edge of the bucket, but then it screws down tight and it's got a rubber seal right there. See that rubber seal? So these Gamma lids are a great addition to your food grade buckets, and keeps things like feed and that you don't use very often. I don't use as much cat feed. A big bag of catfish feed lasts me quite a while. I divide it up into 3 or 4 150-pound bag of catfish feed. I divide it up and store it in these Gamma lid 5-gallon food grade buckets, which are now available at Lowe's, and they weren't back when I started. So that's a big kudos to Lowe's for doing that, and has worked out really well for me and for storing food. You can even go as far as the Mylar bags and the oxygen absorbers. I'll have to do a completely separate video on those, but storing rice and beans and things, you can put it right in there with the Gamma lid and maybe an oxygen absorber and skip the Mylar bag. But if you zip it up in a Mylar bag and put the oxygen absorber in there, you can get 25 or 30 years out of it. I have these gas cans here. Yes, I just went and filled up all of my gas can. This is the gas we use around the farm for the tractors and different vehicles that don't leave the farm, trucks that stay here on the farm. And I put the stabilizer in these all of these 5-gallon containers. Now, I had to open a fresh stabilizer, and I had to label it that I had just opened it because it's only good for 2 years. The other one that I had opened back on 6/18, it had actually started to discolor. You could see a little bit of color difference, and so I thought, well, I've got 2 or 3 of them. I just went ahead and opened up a fresh one and put the stabilizer in these. And we keep our gasoline in this old utility box right here for fire safety. That way, this works great for locking up tools. I lock up my expensive tools, right here in these doors on the side. Same thing on the other side. And the back of it has a lock in it right there. But the gasoline I keep outside of the barn. It's sitting here right now because I just put the stabilizer in it. But it'll go back in there. And of course, we have a couple of gas-powered generators, but remember, I prefer the propane generators for your propane source, so keep that in mind. Just had to mention that since I saw these gas cans sitting here. Thought I'd let you know about that. Number 14, I'm sorry, is the propane water heater. And propane heater. Now this Mr. Heater, this little Mr. Heater right here, Mr. Heater, and this is considered the big buddy. And I like this one. It's got your settings right here, which is great. I found just the medium range works the best, better than the high. It's got a switch. Let me locate it. Where is it? Can't remember. Oh, here it is. Got a little switch right here for the fan. And it actually has battery power. I hear it coming on. I feel it blowing. So that just takes regular D batteries. So back here there's a door that opens up, and you can fill it up with D batteries and have a fan when the power is out. Now it's not a high-powered fan because you're blowing heat. But what's nice about these is that it's got 2 propane tanks on it right here. So you could just screw these tanks in, one on this side and one on this side. Now what I'm looking for is this connection. This is the main reason why, sorry, that light, there we go. Let me move the camera around a little bit. There you go. We've got my hand covering the light, but I'll show you this connection right here. That copper, that brass piece right there, that is a quick connect for using larger propane tanks, like your grill tanks, your 5-gallon, 20-pound grill tanks for this. So I've got propane lines running in the house, and in the bathroom we have one of these Big Buddy Mr. Heater in the bathroom, and we have one in the kitchen. We have a much bigger version in the kitchen, but I'll show you that later. I'm just talking about bare necessities for prepping on the Mr. Heater Big Buddy design there. The number 16 on our, no, I'm sorry, number 15 is meat grinders. And I want to show you, I go to a lot of yard sales, like I've said a million times, and grab meat grinders. And I started grabbing these things, and what we do is we process the rabbits and the chickens and whatnot, and I will take the carcass once we've cleaned all the meat off of it, and I will take the carcass and put the bones down in here. Let's see if I can shield the light. You can see the worm drive screw right there. And this one has, you just take this end off right here. And there are different blades that fit in the end of here that you can use to process the bones. The handle forces the meat and the bones down to here. This blade cuts them, and it squeezes it through here and into a bucket. So I will run the carcass through there and boil it in a broth bag and get the broth out of the carcass. And then the broth bag, I empty that out and freeze those little bags, the bags of bones and whatever meat might be left over. I freeze that, and it's a chicken food during the winter. It's super high in protein. It's been cooked, so you're going to get the maximum amount of protein digestion for the rabbits, and it's going to have the bone meal in there for them. I'm sorry, chickens. Why did I say rabbits? We put the rabbits in here and we grind them up for feed for the chickens. There you go. And we feed the chickens with these bags of, once we've gotten the broth out off of them and processed and everything. So that's those you can pick up at yard sales. That's where I pick them up at. You know, I probably paid $6, I think, for that one. This, I'm going to sidetrack for a minute. This is a creeper gear for my Cub Cadet. I got it offline. And the guy was honest about it. He said it was for parts, and so I got it for parts, but it's missing one of the main pieces that goes on the transmission right here, so that when you're throwing it in gear, this piece that's mounted to the transmission. So I've got to get that. I saw one get auctioned off, and it was over $50, so that's about what I paid for the whole creeper gear. But I'd like to get a creeper gear mounted on the manual Cub Cadet, which is that one right there. That's our manual Cub Cadet. And I might do a little plowing and tilling with that next year. We'll just see. But once I have the creeper gear on there, it'll be just fun to try it out, see how it goes. This is the sickle mower, and I was out sickle mowing today, and you can see the U-joint laying here. So the shaft right here, the D shaft, is laying loose, and I've got to find out what happened, what gave. I think maybe it was just the bolt. I ran a bolt through here and put a couple nuts on it to hold it on there, and it wasn't a grade 8. It was just a, and I'm pretty sure it sheared off. So I'll just put another bolt on that tomorrow and finish sickle mowing tomorrow is the plan. But back to our list. Well, let me sidetrack one more time. I picked up another fun toy, and these are the wheels for my gantry. I bought a gantry. It was on sale. They're regularly $750, and they were marked 20% off. So I had been wanting one, and I have several projects to do with it, so I was fortunate to be able to pick one up. These are the legs, left, right leg. This is the bottom, and there's the other bottom, and this is the top. I'm gonna get that put together. And of course, the little wheels go underneath of it, and I can roll it around out here. And one of the jobs, just right here, one of the jobs that I want to do is I've got this Chevrolet 3500 454 fleet side here, and the cab and the front fenders, all of the sheet metal completely rusted out on this truck right here. The cab corners are gone, the floors are gone, the rails are gone. Look at that, you could throw a cat through that hole. But I'm just about ready to get the body off of this one. And I found another, I believe it's a 94 or 95. It's that one, and I'm sure you've seen it in the background sitting there forever. But with that gantry, I'll be able to lift the cab and the bed and all that right off and slide them onto this other truck. It's a long-term project. It's supposed to be a quote-unquote fun project. We'll see how that goes. But back to the list. Let's see, what number were we on? Let's do propane cylinders. That's something that you're going to need, is propane cylinders. You know, we're talking about the propane heater, and we've talked about the propane generator. Picking up small grill size propane tanks at yard sales and things is one way to get them. Get as many as you can, and you can take them if they're rusty or damaged, and they exchange them and get a full one. But remember, you're getting 5 pounds less on an exchange than you are on just having it filled. That 5 pounds pays for the damaged propane tanks and the repairs that they have to do. So keep that in mind. You don't want to just go to an exchange every time your propane tank runs out. You should take it and find a place to get it filled. That way you get the full 20 pounds for $20 rather than $20 for an exchange, and 5 pounds less. So keep that in mind on your grill propane tanks. Number 17 is a near and dear one to me. It's silver and gold. And on the silver, I'm just going to say real quick that it's dimes. It's silver dimes because of the incremental fungible advantage to dimes. In other words, there's 100 coins in $10 worth of dimes. There's only 40 coins in a roll of $10 quarters, and there's only 20 coins in a $10 roll of halves. So clearly 100 coins is better than 20 coins. So you have 100 dimes. In other words, that's 100 different trips to pick up a loaf of bread or gasoline or food. And the advantage to the silver, the reason they make coins out of silver and gold, is because it doesn't decay. It doesn't mildew, it doesn't rot, it doesn't go bad. It stores your energy and your food without decay. And if you've got that incremental fungible advantage, incremental because you get 100, fungible because you can make change. If you can make change, you're way ahead of the game. One of the things I noticed is that these lists that they give you on the news back in the day, they don't do it anymore, but hurricane preparedness list or flood list, they all say go to the bank and get $1 bills so that you can make change. Well, the same principle is true on our currency. If our currency collapses, if you have dimes, you'll be able to make change. So that's why the fungible part, incremental fungible part. You can see I've got this battery plugged in right here. That's my tractor, my Cub Cadet, vintage Cub Cadet. It's out in the field just sitting there getting wet. It's raining right now. And the battery ran down on it. Can't let it sit out over there overnight. I've got to bring it in and put it on the trickle charge every night. Otherwise, there's not enough battery power to start it the next day. Number 18, which we really already kind of talked about, it's the food grade white buckets. I showed you the Gamma lid. Now you can get other types of lids. I think they have 3 different varieties, but that Gamma lid allows you to open and close and get food out of it and reseal it up and keep the humidity out. So I recommend those Gamma lids. Number 19 is baby wipes. You can't go wrong with having baby wipes. They are a miniature shower in a small bag. I mean, it's amazing. If the power goes out and you're without water, you're saving water, and you want to just do a quick highs and lows on cleanup for the evening, you just can't go wrong having baby wipes. So I recommend having those in your store, in your prepper items list. And number 20, the last item for today, is the laundry soap. And I wish I had the plunger out, the manual plunger that you use for laundry soap, for doing your laundry. We've talked about the restaurant style mop bucket with the mop strainer on it, and how that is the best way to do your laundry. You just put your soap in the bucket, put your clothes down in there, and you can, with a manual plunger, a laundry plunger. It's called I forget the exact name. I just call it a laundry plunger. But this is the trash I need to get hauled out of here. As soon as I get that K30 truck running, I'm going to get this pile of farm trash hauled out of here. This started out as a chicken coop that caved in, and the next thing we knew, it turned into our farm trash pile, and the K30 truck has been down, and then the Toyota truck, I've been working on that like crazy. But the laundry soap thing, having the plunger is, they're fairly inexpensive. You could order one online and have one. This is a junk shed. It used to store halfway decent items in here. I thought I could find my plunger in one quick second, but I can't. There's the type of bucket that I was talking about, that you can wring out. You can do your laundry in that. And those laundry plungers, they look like a toilet plunger, but they have a blue bottom, and it looks like a funnel. And I'm sure if you do a search on Amazon, one of these days when we get monetized, which is what we're really, doing this for, we want to get known and get out there more, really, so we can grow together. It's not the monetization, it's not the money, it's about stepping up the viewership and just getting more people watching. But once we have that, we'll be able to do an Amazon account, and we'll be able to say, okay, go to the Amazon store, and we'll have the laundry plunger there for you to get as a manual clothes washing thing. Now you can see the K30, it's right there. I've done a lot of work to that truck. I've been all through it, so I'm going to get that. It's got the dump and the 4-wheel drive, and I'll be able to haul this trash out. I'll be able to bring gravel in. I need to bring dirt in. I've got that heavy duty trailer, so I need to haul stuff with that. That truck is going to be vital, and I really need to get it going. Real important to get it going. Well, this is my Sunday afternoon video, trying out my new microphone. We've told you before, 95 is really close. This is my junkyard. I've pointed it out a couple of times. I really believe in having a second like vehicle to the one that you're driving. So this Ranger, I have a Ranger, and I rob parts off of this. I don't think I've gotten my money's worth out of this Ranger. It's going to be close on getting my money's worth out of that one. I may regret that. But this was definitely money well spent. I have stripped valuable parts that couldn't be found anywhere on the internet. Toyotas are just really tough to, I wouldn't mind having another one of these, just because I've stripped so much off of this one. I need a another vehicle to get fresh parts off of. And I don't know, maybe I'll show you this back here now. This is the aquaponics system. This and this, these are the buckets. This is, I had the whole aquaponics system set up. And this is the heavy duty trailer that I will use to haul on that K30 to do any hauling a tractor in or out. But as far as the aquaponics, that's what these containers are, these totes are. Originally, that was the ground level here, pretty much where these containers are sitting. We brought in dirt to bring everything up, and we dug a little bit of a hole there to get the dirt out that we needed to be able to build the barn here because the land was so low. But the creek comes in on the property on the other side of the barn, and it actually comes around the barn and comes right by this stump and goes underneath the road. There's a culvert here. But I can actually catch when the water comes onto our property, it's coming through a culvert on the other side of the barn over there. And when it comes out of the culvert, I can catch it and bring it around and dump it into these containers right here. And then I can do my aquaponics with the creek water and any hydroelectric that I want to do. So that is a huge project. There's another culvert underneath over there by the tank, so the water can come out of the bottom of the tanks and cross back into the creek right there. So crosses back into the creek right there. That is a huge project. I tried that before the fodder house, had a huge amount of money and time invested in it, and found out that the fodder house is the way to go. So that system has kind of gone by the wayside. This is our compost pile. And then this is the greenhouse. This is actually where I keep the seedlings right before they go into the garden. Those last few days of frost or occasional frost, I can cover and uncover that quickly with plastic and keep the seedlings safe. And one of the gardens is right here to my left. This is one garden that we use. We didn't do a garden this year. We just skipped it with all the other projects we had going on. So I'm just going to turn this corner and show you the rabbits. You can see the tractor stuck way out there. I need to get it out. We did pick up a lot of sticks today. Those of you who've been following along have seen all of the sticks that are out here on this property. Well, here they come. They think I'm bringing them food. They'd get a bedtime snack, but not tonight. I fed them off the back of the deck earlier, so they've already had their treat. But they always get a treat, so they come running to meet me. I want to thank everybody for watching and look forward to seeing you in the next video. And come on, let's grow together.